Welcome back to Manga Historian. My name's Benny, I read a lot of manga, and today I want to do another recommendation for Dan. Dan, I found another manga for you. And if your name is also Dan, I found another manga for you. And if your name is not Dan, person who's watching this video, I found another manga for you. So anyway, this one actually was recommended by you guys. I'm not going to take full credit on this one. Kaiju number 8 has been cycling through ever since I mentioned manga. Like on Comic Historian years ago. Benny, you gotta read Kaiju number 8. Benny, you gotta read Kaiju number 8. Now, I like kaiju stuff. I'm a huge fan of Godzilla. I'm a huge fan of the idea of fighting against kaiju. I liked Pacific Rim. And I saw this cover and thought it looked terrible, and I had no interest in it. I bought this book like when it came out, and it's been sitting on my read shelf forever. And I finally read it, and I'm the star of it. I didn't think about that until someone left a comment when I did a story here on the Manga Historian channel, and I was like, hey, I'm reading Kaiju number 8, and someone's like, Kafka, which I believe is how you pronounce his name. There's no anime for this one yet, so I'm getting away with however I want to pronounce it. Kafka, acts like I would totally act. So the concept is we're in a world where kaiju exist, okay? Which is awesome already. And our main character, Kafka, is 33 years old, and he is on the monster cleanup crew. So basically, when a kaiju is destroyed, he has to go in there and somebody has to go clean up after the monsters. We find out that he made a pact with this young girl when he was a kid, that the two of them would grow up and become a part of the defense squad, and that they would go fight the kaiju. But he failed out. Since then, he has been on the cleanup squad for the kaiju. Which when I first started reading this, I was like, all right, I get the concept, not really enjoying this too much, but it's a very humorous kind of a thing. They take it in a very humorous route, so it's a very humor-driven action comedy kind of a thing. So he's cleaning up the kaiju, and a new kid shows up. New kid's 18 years old, and he's doing this to learn about the kaiju so that he can then go join the defense squad. And he considers our main hero, Kafka, to be a loser who gave up and he quit and doesn't want to be a part of anything. He does it with respect, like he's not doing it in an outright like, oh, you big loser. It's just when they start talking about their dreams and the future and what they want to do, he kind of like, well, you're a quitter. You know, you quit on it kind of a thing. And then, of course, Kafka gets all upset about it. This guy's name is Reno. I believe it's Reno. And he's also super important because he's going to be sticking around. What happens is Kafka and Reno end up in an area where a kaiju has risen, and it's going to kill Reno. Kafka jumps in the way. He gets injured by the whole thing, tries to stand back and fight back against this kaiju. The two of them end up terminally injured, and then the defense squad, not terminally means they're gonna die. They're not gonna die, they end up injured. And then the defense squad shows up, takes out the kaiju, they're passed out. They wake up in a hospital, and while there, this thing is Kaiju number 8, the thing on the cover. I'll probably get a better image of it, but, you know, whatever. This is the guy, by the way. There we go. I like showing the pages of the book. I think it looks really neat. I don't know why. You can tell I got a good camera. I like to show off my camera. That's what I do there. Anyway, that's Kafka. And then we got Reno, and then they get injured. Now, what happens is something comes in the window, and I've read 2 volumes of this so far, so I don't know what it is. Something sneaks in the window, looks like a little tiny kaiju, and crawls into Kafka's mouth. And then he transforms into this thing. It's a humanoid kaiju. Let me see if I can get a good page, like a full-page spread of it. All right, this is it. This is a good one. So that's his attitude. He's trying to smile there. So he just turns into this thing. Crazy strength, crazy speed, crazy abilities. And that's our adventure. So the two of them quickly go. Reno doesn't believe that he's a good guy at first, but then he believes he is. The two of them run off. And then he goes into hiding for a couple of months, and the two of them decide to join the defense squad. But if anybody finds out that he's a kaiju, they're going to kill him without checking what's going on. So he goes into secretly doing things as Kaiju number 8 to stop the other kaiju and save people. And they both enlist into the special defense squad because we find out that the big superhero girl of the defense squad, like the super crazy general rank, whatever she is, that's his childhood friend. And he told her when they were young that he was going to rise in the ranks with her and protect her and be alongside her and everything like that. So now that he has got this drive to join the defense squad, he decides to do it, but he has to hide his kaiju abilities. So he doesn't want to transform into the kaiju form. So we start having them go through training, but he's 33 and he's terrible at everything. because he's not in kaiju form and he flunked out of this the first time. So he's just bad. Like, they put on suits and it tells you how much power you can emit into the suit. It's like a kaiju weave, like it's their skin, and he can power it up. And you get like, there's this girl that shows up, and what is her name? Oh, geez, I'm probably not gonna find it. She's important, like very important to the cast, but I can't find her name. It's like Shinio something like that. She's the blonde with pigtails. Okay, I'll find an image of her. I'll put her on the screen. So he starts competing against the blonde with pigtails, him and Reno, and they're competing through the entire thing. And they eventually he can't use his powers because they're going to track it, and they put on these power suits. Now, the girl, the blonde with pigtails, she can like draw out 40% or like 30% of the power, which is off the charts. Reno can get like 10%. And they're going on, everyone's like putting it on like 8%, 9%. If you're above 8, you're like in the good. Like that's a good person to be in the defense squad. And they've never met anyone with 0%. Well, Kafka puts it on and it's a 0%. So then, of course, that leads to even more humor because everyone assumes that he's the old man, that he can't compete, that he's not going to do a good job, and he also can't change into into his kaiju form because, well, you know, they're going to catch him and experiment on him and stuff like that. That leads to the cliffhanger of, I believe, Volume 1, where, what'd they do for Volume 1? Because I read 2 of them. I want to make sure I don't ruin what the cliffhanger is because he's in this. We're going, there it is, yeah. So he's in hiding on the whole thing. And the cliffhanger for Volume 1, where he reveals himself to Blonde Girl because he's got to save her from being destroyed by what appears to be another humanoid kaiju. So I'm just telling you Volume 1 because I don't want you to get ruined, but they're in their test. They have to neutralize these kaiju. They're all showing off how amazing they are. Kafka's not flunking out because since he was on the cleanup squad, he knows where the organs are. So he can figure out where the organs are on all of them, and he knows their weaknesses, while everyone else is these hotshot 18-year-old kids, and they don't quite know it. So normal Kafka is doing fine, but he's borderline being kicked out because he has no power. While Reno and everyone's amazing, they're all doing crazy stuff like that. And so what ends up happening is they win, and this other humanoid kaiju arrives and starts resurrecting the dead kaiju. But now all their monitors are going offline, and they can't see what's going on, and no one knows what's happening, and Girl with Pigtails is about to be annihilated by all these revived kaiju, and that's when Kafka reveals himself to her. And he's like, leave it to me, I'm gonna save you. Which is, that's that panel right there. And I know I kind of spoiled the ending of Volume 1, but there's 6 volumes in this one right now, and it's been announced for an anime. And I will not lie, I read through this one yesterday. It was sitting on my desk, and I'm like, hey, I want to talk about something that's not One Piece, and I haven't finished Dragon Ball yet because I'm getting really lazy, and I've been playing a lot of Destiny, and that's the excuse in the One Piece video, but it doesn't change the fact I'm still playing a lot of Destiny. So I hadn't finished Dragon Ball, and this was sitting on my desk, and I'm like, you know what? Let's see what Kaiju number 8 is, because I can talk about that, or the fact that I just watched the entire first season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and find it rather bizarre. Anyway, so I decided to read through this, and I immediately bought the next 4 volumes. And that night, because I read this yesterday morning, and last night I was in bed reading Volume 2. So this one really hooked me. I highly recommend it, Dan, and anyone else who happens to be watching my transmissions to Dan. And I hope you guys enjoy. I really do. I'm going to be doing a lot more research on this as I read through all of it. I am trying to make more videos that are going to be discussing more broader topics in the world of manga and anime, but I won't lie. The last 2 weeks have been just nonstop Destiny, and I've been doing very little reading, and that's pretty much where we came at to. So give me some more suggestions on manga to read down below, because I'll pick up the first 3 volumes if I enjoy it, and we'll make a video like this, and I'll be doing other topics like, the different devil fruits inside of One Piece, more stuff involving My Hero Academia and all their powers and stuff like that. And I like making these videos. They're a lot of fun. So that's all I have. Short video today. I just wanted to let you guys know that your suggestions are awesome, and I highly recommend this. And if I was a Japanese character in a manga involved kaijus attacking Tokyo, I would probably be Kafka. But I don't think I'd get the cool powers. I would just be weak and pathetic. So that's how life works. Thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe if you enjoy me just rambling about manga that I enjoy and the other videos like the Deku powers. And I guess we'll see you next time. Thank you.